I don't think she's abandoning her ideals. I think she's trying to be pragmatic and doing what she thinks is right in order to win the election.
My values have not changed.
You're considered the most liberal United States senator. Well, actually, the nonpartisan GovTrack has rated you as the most liberal senator.
Abolish ICE. Yeah. Is that a position that you agree with?
We need to probably think about starting from scratch.
Universal health care, Medicare for all to people who are in this country illegally.
I am opposed to any policy that would deny in our country any human being public health.
How are you defining defund the police?
It's actually wrong and backward to think that more police officers will create more safety. We need to get rid of money bail. Get rid of the filibuster to pass a Green New Deal.
Kamala Harris comes from the middle of the road moderate wing.
I think she's always been moderate.
She's very moderate, the moderate mainstream American.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
Alrighty, guys, welcome back to it. Back at it again, Conservative Confucius. Let's get into it. So we're going to be covering some stuff exposing Democrat lies, not just from Kamala Harris, but a lot of them from Kamala Harris, but all around the place. We're going to be going over some of the stuff and telling how they, saying, okay, this is what they said, this is what they, what is reality, or just going over some of the ones we know were obvious lies that we, everybody knows the truth to. Alrighty, so let's go and let's get down to it. Let's get into it and let's get down to it. Alrighty, don't forget to go down there, smash the like button, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell for notifications to make sure you get all my stuff. And don't forget to share this video if you guys like it. I appreciate you guys coming down. All right, let's get to it and do it. So, yeah, we're going to go over some of the ones that I have written down. This will play in the background. So, alrighty, so they say Trump will be a dictator, even though he wasn't during his first 4 years as president. We all know that's BS. They say that they will do all of these things that they could have done during the last 4 years. Kamala and the Democrats say, oh, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And so many great false promises and just bull crap. And yet they could have done all this in the last 4 years and somehow they just don't. But they want us to vote for him again so they can do it now, which makes no sense. They accuse Trump of being someone who will use the DOJ to go after his opponents once he takes office, but they have already proven that they will do that and that he wouldn't do that. He could have done that against Hillary, who went after him viciously. He could have done that against the Democrats who constantly put him into impeachments, and yet he never used the DOJ as a political tool for his own agenda. Yet they've done that consistently, and new information, according to leaked footage from the DOJ chief himself, says that the Democrats are using the DOJ as a political tool to hinder Trump in this election. That is now 100% factual information said by the DOJ chief himself, and it is undeniable. They accuse the right of being radical and yet refuse to call out the radicals on their own side while demanding we call out ours over and over and over again, even though we do it. And if we don't continue to over and over and over again do it, then we're called radicals and racists and extremists, like the people they think that we should call out, even though we've done it 1,000 times. While they refuse to say anybody on their side, like Antifa or BLM or the pro-Hamas people, are radical because they want their votes. We don't want a white nationalist or white supremacist vote. We don't want radical so-called Christians votes. We don't want people like that who are racist and sexist and awful. But they want the people who are racist and sexist and awful's votes because they can't denounce them, because without them, they have nothing, because that's the majority of their party now. The Overton window has moved so far that they can no longer just be a party of common sense. They have to cater to the party who has no sense, to the group of people who has no sense. It's a massive group of people on their side. All right, so they lie about all of Trump's policies, whether it's, small or big, or whether it's taxes or economics, whether it's infrastructure, whether it's border, it's all lies. They can't tell the truth. Abortion being one of the worst, they claims. They say he wants to ban abortion completely, that he wants to do, and some people are also saying, oh, he wants to do a 6-week ban. That's what he wants to do. And in all 50 states, neither is true. He wants to send it back to the states, make it a states' rights issue, so the communities you live in can vote based on the values of that community. And you move to the states which values fit you. That's how the country was founded. That's what it was meant to be. people in California may not want the same taxes and values as the people in Texas or North Dakota or Iowa. And that's the way this country was founded. We're not all supposed to be identical to the next one, because we wouldn't be a country of united and different values and ideas. We would be a unilateral, simple country like Canada, who's completely run amok by radicals and insane people. Look at these fake gestures and this. Her daughter, stepdaughter, is one of the worst people in existence. It's ridiculous. Fake platitudes. You can just tell everything they're saying is just a load of horse crap. Fake emotion and everything. All right, let's get back into this. Inflation is not down yes, it is down year over year, but compared to its baseline, it is up 11+%, not 3.5%, which is what they're saying it's at. Also, real wages are down over 25%. Gas is up 46%. Eggs are up 41%. Housing is up 60%. Rent is up 35%. Cars are up 32%. Red meat is up 48%. And yes, these fluctuate, day to day and even week to week. So these might be slightly different than what you see them at now, but they're going to be relatively the same. 14 months, they have stayed relatively the same within a few percentage points. Kamala is now claiming and stealing policies from Trump, like no taxes on tips and a few of his other infrastructure and economic policies, which she most likely will not implement due to her radical agenda that she's already claimed she has not changed on since her original interviews years ago. Kamala has said she wants to ban fracking, and now she says she doesn't. Then she said she didn't change her opinion. So which is it? She openly says she wants to speed up. When I mean speed up, I mean extremely speed up the process of making an illegal immigrant a legal citizen. The path to citizenship, they want to expedite that drastically. Over the last couple of weeks, she has openly said she wishes to shut down free speech on platforms like Facebook or Twitter and others, and says that Elon Musk should be held responsible for what is said on his platforms, just like every other business owner. And that just because they're a private company, it does not give them the right to spew misinformation and hate speech. They claim that Trump has a connection to the 2025 project and that all of the things on it are his values, which they continue. She even says in this speech, and they claim that all of it is radical and crazy and that he has a connection to this, even though he has no connection to the 2025 project. It's made by the Heritage Foundation, which has a couple of former Trump employees or White House associated people to him, but none of them are connected to the current Trump campaign and his run for presidency. His policies are listed under what's called Agenda 47. You can find it on his website. They said Trump would ban. Oh, yeah, sorry, we got that. So, yeah, but yeah, further on the abortion thing, they said Trump would ban abortion. And he said, no, it should be a states issue, like I said. But they also said that Trump wants to ban IVF, completely remove it, just like 2025, which is bull crap. I've already said that. But actually, according to his recent interviews and speeches, he wants to give all women who are struggling with pregnancy under the age of 40 free IVF. Free. So that means if you can't get pregnant, you're having trouble, you get free IVF. I am still on the fence about IVF on how I feel about it. I don't know enough about it. I know what it is and how it's done and all that stuff, but I just don't know how I feel about it yet. I know a lot of pro-life people don't like it because of the fact that the embryos, you make 20 embryos, and if you find the best one that has the best genetics, and then you get rid of the rest. It's very reminiscent of eugenics. So I do get the point of that, but it's a contentious issue, and everybody has to make compromises. So I guess that's the compromise we make for getting a pro-life country, or as pro-life as possible. She also recently claimed that, she previously claimed years ago that she had marched in the civil rights marches with her family or a family member and saw Martin Luther King. Then she claimed she didn't do that. Now she's claiming her parents were the ones that marched, and they marched for civil rights, even though they're not black. And in the 1960s, they weren't anywhere near a city that would have been doing a massive march. They would have had to travel to DC, and nothing matches up. Nothing makes sense. It's just not lining up. So let's see. Is that it from my written down ones? I think that's it. Yeah, I think it's, all right, so let's move on. All righty. So yeah, here I don't really. I mean, Alex Jones is hit or miss. Like, take him with a huge grain of salt. Uncovers things we need to know, and he also says a lot of stupid stuff. But that's Adam. That's what everybody knows about him. He's stupid and he's also smart. But everybody can be hit or miss. I do like how he tries to avoid being racist and anti-Semitic, unlike Candace, which is insane to think that she used to be so much better at who she was and just doing her job, and it's gone crazy. Anyways, Alex Jones says Kamala caught a new giant lie, now claims she bailed out rioters. I think this is where she mentioned something about the civil rights thing again, and it's like lies.
This afternoon to criticize you for your support a couple of years ago, before you were the vice president, for something called the Minnesota Freedom Fund that was really set up to help those who were arrested in the aftermath of the George Floyd riots, help them get out. It's since been sort of morphed into something else and has been used to help people get out who've been accused of many other crimes. Do you have any thoughts about this?
Well, first of all, I am a child of parents who marched for civil rights in the 1960s in America.
Okay, so your grandfather is from India. He was a bureaucrat in India. Your father is from India, and he's part Indian with a little bit of Irish, and your mother is Indian fully. So where's the black in that? And then the only reason you have any black family members is you have family members who married black people. So the few black people you have in your family are not related to you by blood, but by marriage. So you cannot claim their identity on your own. And I mean, you already have family members who are not Democrats, and they've called you out in your own family. They've said, I don't like her. She's lying. She isn't black. She married a person who has black, a person who has black family members who are married to black people. That's it. Like, it's nothing special. No hidden black ancestry in her DNA. She's a liar, just like every other Democrat.
And I have always been and will always be a supporter of peaceful protests. Many peaceful protests.
Except for the ones where you even though they were violent and angry and burning buildings down and even police stations and killing police officers, you still bailed these people out right after that. And it was one of the most violent. You said this right after one of the most violent protests of 2020.
Over the history of our country have led to an expansion of rights.
No, they haven't.
And
not this
and an
one.
Expansion of civil rights. So that's where
the 2020 led to a clamoring on rights, a further damaging to the American people's civil rights with hate speech laws and censorship and all kinds of crap. You are a liar. So here's the IVF thing I mentioned. So he says that Trump wants to ban IVF, and says that he's going to do something different and he wants to help people, not hurt people. But they don't realize that literally like a day before this, Trump had announced that he was going to give women free IVF as president. So DEI Secretary, this is from Drew Hernandez, Karine Jean-Pierre, whatever, denies that Kamala Harris was named the border czar, even though we know through evidence, and I've shown you that over and over, her getting called the border czar for like 10 minutes. Let's see if they do it here.
Democrats on Capitol Hill are being handed this card with talking points about the vice president and the border. Do you know who's handing this out?
I have no idea. You probably should ask her campaign.
So the first one says Vice President Harris was never appointed border czar. There's never been such a position. It doesn't exist. Why are Democrats so sensitive about the vice president?
Look at her face.
The border?
Why are Republicans so sensitive about actually not owning up?
Owning up to what?
To them getting in the way.
Getting in the way of what? Of your lies? Getting in the way of your lies. Because let's look it up here. Oops. Oh, look. That's the day she was signed into border czar. Let's see. This probably will show us the ones. Let's see. Usually they show like some clips. There we go.
border czar. Vice President Harris was not a quote-unquote border czar.
About face.
Quote-unquote border czar. Vice President Harris was not a border czar.
Meantime, Vice President and border czar Kamala Harris facing some backlash.
What he said about Harris and immigration was not true. She was never appointed border czar.
And this will be her first visit to the U.S.-Mexico border region since she was appointed as the border czar by President Biden.
People are going to have to counter the misinformation. You already hear folks talking about the border czar. She wasn't the border czar.
President Biden tapped Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, to be the border czar.
Now, she wasn't the border czar. That's what Republicans labeled her.
They were very critical of Kamala Harris, especially in her role as border czar.
Now what she's up against is folks lying about her border record, calling her a border czar.
Kamala Harris, who was appointed as the border czar.
The Biden team didn't declare her the border czar. They wanted her to work on kind of the root causes of immigration.
There has been so much criticism against Kamala Harris. You know, she was the border czar.
Calling her sort of the border czar, which wasn't necessarily the case.
So the border, if they weren't planning to address it in a major way, do not make her your border czar. She met with some of the Northern Triangle countries, but nothing has effectively changed.
You can just see it there.
I mean, yeah, it's obvious. It's ridiculous. This right here is where he signed papers and made her the border czar. See, it says here. Yeah. This is where he signed her into her role as the border czar and literally handed it to her and said, she is now the border czar. She will fix this border. She didn't. She lied, they lied, and they will gaslight you into feeling like you are delusional and insane until you realize one day, okay, I'm not the insane one. They are. They're monstrous for making us feel this way because they would rather have an entire population of people that they disagree with feel like they are insane than actually, feel like, hey, you know what? This is true. I am right. Because they would rather say, make you feel like you're believing in the most abstract nonsense than just be right for once. Because if they're wrong, everything starts going down the tubes for them. So here, I want you guys to check this out. This is Kamala Lies Debunked on Twitter. I actually just found this. It goes through tons. So yeah, the claim, Kamala's HQ is that Trump plans to place migrants in detention camps, leading to a bloody situation. The truth, Kamala HQ deliberately made a clip of 9 seconds to dodge their followers. I think they meant to say something else. I think they meant to say to mislead their followers. Trump argues that 25 million migrants, including dangerous gang members, are severely impacting the U.S. and we need to get them out. Yeah. Some of these aren't worded very right. Being psychopathy, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it still goes over the lies, so that's good. The claim that Kamala HQ suggested that Kamala will implement the tax cut worth $50,000 for a small business. The truth, this proposal was taken from the Trump administration policies during Donald's 4 years era. There were significant tax reforms enacted through the tax cuts, and
it's essentially a tax cut for starting a small business.
Yeah, that's her talking about it. Yeah, I mean, there's so many on here, it's ridiculous. Like, you can just go. There's another one too. Where is it? Is it the? So there's. Let's see, where is the other one? I think it's actually. Let's see. There was two. There was like one was called Kamala Lies Debunked, and the other one was, here it is, Kamala HQ Lies. Yeah, that was the other one. So I impress upon you to go reach out and follow these guys. Kamala Lies Debunked, Kamala HQ Lies. They basically do the same thing. They show you the post from Kamala saying, or whatever, or the video from Kamala saying that whatever, and then they show you the truth. And it's good to have that, even in the same video, it's on the same screen. So you can't be fooled by them. But yeah, it says the latest hoax is around J.D. Vance supposedly saying that shootings and deaths of students are just a fact of life in America, even though that's not what he said at all. Let's hear what he said.
It's so excited to go back to school. First, from the summer. First of all, what happened in Georgia
is just an awful tragedy. And I know we've got a lot of parents and a lot of grandparents in this room. I mean, I cannot imagine, little kids so excited to go back to school. God love them. And they're at their first week back from the summer, and an absolute barbarian decides to open fire and take their lives and also a couple teachers. I don't like this. I don't like to admit this. I don't like that this is a fact of life. But if you're...
See, I don't like that this is a fact of life. I don't like that this is a fact of life. And that's true, because he's not talking about shootings. He's talking about violence against innocent people in random situations across the world. That is a fact of life, that innocent people in everyday situations are hurt. Let's talk about some that are just kind of, random, more like gaslighting and there's some lies, but some gaslighting too. Stuff that's going on in California, the dystopia of America.
Hate crime hoax coming out of Chula Vista, California today. Turns out a 15-year-old has been arrested and is being interviewed by the FBI. You see, he spray painted a whole bunch of elementary schools with the N-word and swastikas. MAGA kids were, of course, blamed for this, but it turns out the teenager is the son of an elected Democratic Party official.
100%,
right here
of course.
In San Diego County.
Party of the
Number
KKK.
2 story coming out of East County. Turns out migrants have been trying to board school buses yesterday and today. An email went out from the district to parents saying, don't worry, parents, when we come to a school bus stop and there's a group of migrants, we're just going to keep driving and we're going to leave your kids there at the school bus stop. Number 3 story is just breaking, and it's out of Chula Vista. Turns out Andrea Cardenas, a disgraced city councilwoman for Chula Vista, who pled guilty to stealing over $200,000 in COVID money. Today, the judge gave her no jail time and just 2 years probation. So that's the right to wrap up. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, that's insane. I mean, they will gaslight us and treat us like shit and lie to us and screw us over in court systems. And they will do this over and over again until we make it clear that we won't take this shit anymore. And I've already told you guys about how they're arming immigrants. I showed you the proof with Beretta boxes being unloaded at migrant centers. I gave you the stories of hotel owners opening wooden boxes that they had delivered for the migrants with color-coded locks and keys, and they found military uniforms and weapons. I shouldn't even be saying this in public because I don't know how much trouble I can get in for this, but it is crazy. It is time to nut up or shut up. It is time to organize, and we need to be doing that as strongly as possible. I think everybody needs to get the Signal app on their phone, whether it's iPhone or Android, get Signal private messaging, and make sure you have as many people, start contacting your friends on Facebook, start contacting people on Twitter, do whatever you can and get a Signal channel, because we need to be prepared for something happening. And it is not wrong to say any of this because it is my First Amendment right. It is my First Amendment. It is my Second Amendment right to stand up to a tyrannical government that takes away the rights of its citizens and steps away from the values and core centered messaging and integral things and integral anything, values, laws, everything that's part of this country. When they step away from that, I am in my rights to push back against them. Just like you, we need to make sure we stand tight and strong together because they cannot push back against us if we are organized. We have to let them know that this will not be accepted. And if they don't push back, we won't push forward. But if they do, we need to let them know that these migrant armies are going to do nothing against an armed citizenry of over 330 million Americans who have 3 guns for every one person. Around 1 or 2/3 of those are actually armed citizens. We will not stand up to your nonsense. That's my message to the government. Alrighty, guys. So that's going to be it for this one. I appreciate you guys coming down. Don't forget to go down there, smash the like button, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell for notifications, and do not forget to share this video. Sorry about my merch stuff. It's just taking a little longer to get the store up. I want it to be perfect for you guys. Oops, sorry. I want it to be perfect for you guys. So I'm going to get that up there as soon as possible. I just need to finish a few things, set up the payment mode, and we'll be good. Alrighty. Don't forget to go down there and do all that. And then come back and check out some more. I should be up here tomorrow. All righty, guys. You have a good one. Catch you later.